Alright guys, so I'm getting questions about how to mount these. So this is what I did. Find yourself an old one, gut it, take everything out of it. Set your original to the side, because if you mess up, you don't want to have to try to find a new one. This particular one is out of a 2.5 ton truck. I found it at a junkyard. They'll all have tacks and stuff in them, so if you just got a stock square body and you're trying to just find a tack for it, just find one out of a 2.5 ton truck. That's easy enough. If you're trying to swap your gauges, what I did is I took this side out. I took this side out and that side. I took everything out of them. Took these screws out on this one. I ground those off. And I dropped everything, the whole back portion of it out. And then what I done is I took a hole saw and I actually used this hole in the middle for a pilot hole. And I cut a hole in there big enough for that tack gauge to set in, to where I could mount it and use this to mount it in there. Okay. Then as far as these, I gutted the whole system there. And what I did with those is I took this piece here, and most of these are metal. Some of them's plastic. If they're plastic, it's going to be harder. I would say if they're plastic, get a block of wood, screw it to the back right here, and then center these holes, and then you can hole saw these big enough for your small gauges. If it's metal, mine was metal. I used a small torch, and I heated this ring, and then I slowly bent it out, and I tried to keep it even as I bent it to where my gauges would go through there. So this piece is holding my small gauges. These pieces are holding the two big gauges. None of this stuff, none of the lights, none of the wiring on the back is hooked up at all. Everything I tapped into my harness that went in the back of this and come out of there, made a plug and come out of there to where I could plug into each individual thing. All these gauges, they're all hardwired right to the engine. Even the fuel gauge, even though it's a factory fuel gauge, on the back side, it'll have like 2 or 3 lugs, I forget which. I ran those straight to the tank. So, like I said, I got rid of all the wiring that actually went to this. All I used was the housing. I hope that helps. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to give me a call or give me a PM shout out.